Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome to Europa Universalis IV, which I've decided to visit today, kicking off a little mini-series because, well, one, Europa Universalis V is coming out in no time whatsoever, so it seemed like, a good time to dip my toe in the water of this here franchise, but two, more generally, whenever you see conversations about what's the best Paradox game or whatnot, this one comes up a lot. Like, a load of people seem to consider this as one of Paradox's masterpieces. A masterpiece, however, that I've never actually played before, outside of just doing the tiny tutorial missions, though, to be clear, these tutorial missions are pretty basic, all things considered, so I may be a bit underprepared here. But on the other hand, I've played a lot of Crusader Kings and a lot of Stellaris, so I can 100% just figure this out as we go. Probably. Now, you might be wondering, especially after these shambles when I played Victoria 2 back in the day, what DLC I've currently got enabled, and it's a difficult question to answer, because the development of Europa Universalis IV was a strange and confusing thing. Like, certain DLCs that used to exist just don't anymore, because they just sort of move the mechanics into the main game, and others can only be bought in certain bundles and not individually, and just in general, it's a bit confusing. So, as a result of that, just to make absolutely cocking sure I'm not missing something, I bought, yes, that little subscription that gives you access to all the DLC. So I've definitely got all of it, okay? Prussia is not yellow, which is something we can be doubly sure of, because yes, historically Prussia doesn't actually exist at this point. But yeah, speaking of nations and whatnot, here's what I'm thinking. You see, I can't help but notice that this here is a much bigger map than I'm used to in my Paradox games. So, we've got a big old America over here, and Australia. Like, you never see Australia in Paradox games, but there it is, down bottom, beautiful. So, yeah, there's a lot more countries to play as than I might be used to. So, I've decided, yes, I'm very determined not to just play a great European power at this point in history. No. I want to go somewhere a little bit more fun and wacky. My understanding is, yes, also, that this game is a lot about, trade, economy, etc, etc. So, as a result of that, I just moseyed around the world, looking at all sorts of countries, one by one, until I found something very, very interesting indeed. Say hello to Kilwa right here in East Africa, and okay, the history of Kilwa is actually super interesting, because this was like a sort of a Persian colony back in the 11th century that did really, really bloody well. This place thrived for like 500 years. Then the 16th century, Portugal showed up and said yoink, then Germany showed up and said yoink, then the First World War happened, then Britain and Belgium showed up and said yoink, and generally, it wasn't a great time. Until eventually in the 1960s, this whole area got its independence back, forming a variety of modern nations, from Kenya in the north and down to Mozambique in the south, because, as you can see, this is quite a long skinny nation at this point in history. If the name's ringing a bell that you can't place, by the way, it may well be, yes, in reference to Kilwa Kisawani, which was a wonder in Civilization 6, but yes, the point of these guys is, they were actually very, very effective traders. I can't help but notice that, yes, as a result of that, if we look at the Kilwan ideas we might be able to unlock as we go through the game, there's a lot of talk here about, trade, naval stuff, merchants, etc, etc. So I was thinking, what if my goal was, yes, to basically say, screw history, this time, Kilwa's going to thrive. So what we're going to do is, we are going to expand, we are going to trade, we are going to become filthy, filthy rich, and if we see even one flipping Portuguese ship floating around this area, we are going to annihilate them. Alright, I am warning you, Portugal, do not try it. So okay, here we go, and this being a Paradox game I've not played before, there is a lot to get my head around here. Like if we just go into, the whole management system here. Yeah, there's a lot going on every single cocking one of these tabs. So, yeah, lot to get to grips with here. But I think, yes, I may have figured out one thing quite important immediately just from the tutorial. Which is, yes, even though I was just mentioning Crusader Kings 2 and Stellaris, I feel like actually, the experience that's going to be most useful to me is playing Imperator Rome. Because yeah, this game and that one seem to have one very big important thing in common, which is the most important currency is not currency. That's, just a nice thing to have. Instead, what we should really be looking at is these scores up here. Admin power, diplomatic power, and military power. Because just like in Imperator, we had to store up military points, diplomatic points, economic points, etc, etc. Yeah. In this game, it would appear that these currencies here, these are the things you need if you actually want to make anything meaningful happen inside your empire. So yeah, if I want to, say, improve any of my cities, then I'm going to be needing admin power, that one on the left there, if I want to make my societies generate more tax, diplomatic power, if I want to boost production, or military power, if I want to boost manpower. Which we're going to be needing to, yes, build and replenish my armies. Again, very much like Imperator. And if I want all those exciting, sexy trading ideas I was just talking about that, yes, Kilwa has access to, it turns out I don't get to start with them. I need to work my way up to, yes, unlocking them step by step. And to do that, I need to unlock ideas. But I can't even begin unlocking ideas, and thereby, yes, specialising my empire in all sorts of exciting, sexy ways, like, say, trade right there, that's a good one, until I get my admin technology up to level 5. Which is also completely a function of spending that admin currency. If I want my technology to be moving along, yeah, it's going to get cheaper and cheaper over time to represent the fact presumably other people are, like, unlocking it. So, it's becoming more commonplace as an idea. But yeah, I need these currencies up top to unlock basically any new technology whatsoever. So, right, those currencies at the top, they're the big ones, because I can't fall behind technologically. I feel like that would be a really bad thing. Because until I've got tech, I can't specialise, and I can't unlock my own ideas, etc, etc. So, yeah, it sounds like there's going to be a big power spike if I could just get tech moving in the right direction. What I can do, though, is missions. So, right, this is like, a way of guiding you in a particular direction into what, your empire might be good at. So if I build a light ship, say, in order to build up a trade fleet, so we can, like, stop piracy or whatnot, then, as a result of that, I'll gain a permanent claim on Mombasa, which is, yeah, that's north of me, right there. And that, I think, would be quite nice, because, hang on, I was looking at you a minute ago. Oh, yeah, Mombasa has actually got a pretty good high level of development in terms of production, meaning it's generating a good solid amount of money next to, the territories around here. Yeah, in fact, my own territories, most of them are kinda worthless, and oh, blimey. Okay, it's all about Kilwa for the time being. My economy is entirely dependent on Kilwa, got it. So yeah, these missions represent directions I could go. So, prepare the invasion is, right, Madagascar. Apparently we could mosey over there and just, like, take that. Don't know whether it would be worth going to do that, but apparently we could do that. Or if I wanted to, right, this chain over here, this is more related to trading. Money, that feels more like what I might be interested in doing. And alternatively, reconnect with Persia. Yes, as I was saying earlier, like Kilwa started in its current form at this point in history as like a Persian colony of sorts. So, right, we could go and do that, though I'd need to own Shiraz. Oh, blimey, that is, that's way up here. That's a long way away, game. I feel like that might be a bit ambitious for, like, a starting mission. Let's not worry about that for now. Alternatively, annex Safala. So, okay, it's been under our influence for a long time. We could bring it into our direct control. And if I do that, right, I gain a big old pile of claims on the surrounding areas. Got it. Because one thing the tutorial was very clear about is don't go to war unless you've got some sort of justification for it. Otherwise, stability goes down. And apparently stability going down is, like, really bad. Like, do not do that. The tutorial was extraordinarily clear. So yes, if we just go into an opinion map mode here, most people don't particularly care about me one way or the other. However, there is a hostile power to the west, and Safala here, they're pretty chill with me. Right, because like they were implying, okay, that long-standing relationship is they're a vassal. So as a result of that, okay, all I need to do is just absorb you, And that would apparently be very good for generating an excuse for me to go and attack various other people. If that's, like, what I want to do, because, as I was saying, I was really more here for, like, the trade and whatnot, but... Okay. Why do I want to eat you? Precisely. And oh, blimey! 2.9 income. Right, that's why we want to eat you. Apparently, you've got a lot of cooking money going on here. Oh, and I think I figured out why. Going into, the trade goods map mode here, Kilwa is very literally sitting on a gold mine. And so Safala, together with, oh, hello, sexy. Right. So, I think I know why we potentially might want to expand in this direction. Got it. Because, yeah, we're sitting on a very big old supply of ivory. Right here, there's some fish, not worth as much as, you know, ivory, obviously. But in Kilwa, we've got gold, which is worth 0. Europa Universalis IV, are you feeling okay? No, their gold's worth 0 as well. But, like, apparently everyone's gold is worth 0. Like, gold has just 0 value. Is there too much gold in this part of the world? Have we crashed the gold price by mining too much gold? I feel like we should be able to, like, you know, find a buyer for gold somewhere in the world. Ah, hang on. No. I get it. So, right. Gold we don't, like, sell on the open market like other goods. It gets counted up here in the production bit of the local town's economy. So, right. Because there is a very big mine, that generates a big old pile of gold that, yeah, just leads to a massive increase in the amount you're getting out of production. Which, over here, in a society where they're generating, you know, precious gems, presumably worth a lot of gold in terms of trading, yeah, the actual production is almost non-existent. The production here is huge. So, right, mined materials we don't trade, that just boosts local production. Meaning every one of these towns around here is worth a lot in terms of tax income. And gold we do still need, because that's what pays for armies and also buildings. We can't just magic those into existence by spending military power. Though we could increase military technology, so yeah, the troops who we are buying and paying for in gold will be more effective if we just keep our military tech moving in the right direction. So, okay. Basically, yes, it feels like, potentially, while we're still working towards building up our trade infrastructure and whatnot, just going and straight up stealing a giant pile of gold from our neighbours, yes, that could be a good starting point. Though speaking of which, right, some of the gold we don't need to steal. That's not necessary. Because Safala, as our vassal, we could just straight up annex, though, okay. It would need to be my vassal for 10 years, which basically means 10 years from the start of the game. So, okay. On top of that, they need to really cocking like us. Well, according to the game up here, I've got 3 diplomats just sitting around doing nothing right now. Okay, so one of you go and charm these guys for me. But okay, that's going to take 10 years to do, so we don't want to be just sitting around waiting for that. And on top of that, yeah, boosting up our various important currencies up here, that just happens over time too, though not at the same rate. Hang on, let's figure this out. This is important. Okay, my current leader has, yes, a certain number of stats. Specifically, he's pretty good at military and admin, but he's terrible at diplomacy. So as a result, yeah, I get a base score of 3, plus 1 for his skill. And there is, yeah, 3 plus 3, then a base of 3 plus 4. So, right, my military power is going up a lot faster than anything else. Okay. Plan. According to the military technology screen, I could go up to tech level 4 by about 1450. 6 years' time. And that's like before we annex Safala. So my military could be advanced by the time we get those claims on this bit of the world over here. And these guys, their military is only level 2, I'm starting at 3, and moving upwards. Though, which I'm not sure, like, how much difference this makes. But presumably, if, like, you know, an army of 10,000 people at level 2 meets an army of 9,000 people at level 4, the 9,000 would win, right? I mean, this might just be a slight difference in casualties, or this might mean I've got artillery and air support, and they've got clubs. I'm not 100% sure what the difference is. Okay, the point is, the economy is looking good right now. So, yeah, we can, like, save up money, buy more troops as time goes by. Especially given, right now, we're already paying 2.4 gold to maintain the army. But if I, like, reduce that, right, that affects army morale. But if I just, like, bring that down to half, then, yes, there's going to be a really bad effect on the morale of armies, but my armies aren't, like, currently doing anything. They're just sitting there, potentially for the next decade, waiting, so, honestly, I see no reason why we bother paying them. Like, you know, if history teaches us one thing, is that it's not important at all to make sure your army's well paid, alright? Just to underpay them, and there are no negative consequences. Though it is very important that, yes, I remember I've done that before we go to war, okay? Do not cocking forget. I've written it on a post-it note and stuck it to the side of my monitor, okay? Remember to pay army, so I am not going to forget. So, Mission 1, Annex Safala, work in progress. Mission 2, reconnect with Persia, absolutely impossible, don't even worry about it. Mission 3, reach the Indian market. So if I was to do that, yeah, I gain trade efficiency and some other positive trading McGibbles. Not 100% sure what those mean or whatnot, but okay, probably best we have a think about, yes, that. So yeah, what I've got to do is just get a merchant to, yeah, presumably, hang on, trade. Right, these markets over here. Yeah, it's basically any market to the east of here, best as I can tell. So, okay, hang on. I am sitting on, okay, 2 merchants that aren't currently doing anything. And 2, meanwhile, that are, yeah, working in our existing trade notes. So, okay, hang on. Let's try and get my head around this here, which is, the world's divided up into markets. My market is Zanzibar, right here, in red. Zambezi, meanwhile, that's the market next door. The current combined trade value in this node, that is, yeah, the market I'm basically taking part in at the core of my empire, is 4.84. And because I've got a merchant inside this market, he is collecting a certain proportion of that trade and converting it into gold. Or to be precise, they collect a 1.4 out of the 4.8. But yeah, that gets boosted out of various tax things tied to being Kilwa, etc, etc. So I get a bit more money out of this than I should. And the reason I'm only gaining that much out of the combined market is I'm not the only person in this market. Of particular note, yeah, Mombasa up north, their prosperous cities and their traders are also making potentially a good solid amount of money out of this market. So if I eat more of this market, I'll be able to get more trade value. Because then, yeah, right now, the gold that Mombasan traders are generating out of this market, I'll be able to claim it instead. So, right, I want to, like, lock it down and monopolize this entire market as far as I can. So, okay. Hang on, go back to political map mode. So, yeah, it's you guys. A couple of people up here, but it felt like you weren't anywhere near as important, actually. Yeah, who else are, like, you know, the important players? Sakalava. Right, that's one of the people right here in Madagascar, so that might be why we want to go over there. The land might be worth something to me if I conquer it, but more importantly, I'm locking it down this market. Because yeah, next to say the Ethiopian market, this does not feel like a big market. I feel like potentially I could, like, you know, monopolize this market pretty easily. And presumably, that way giant piles of money lie. So okay, that's why we might want to, yes, lock down some of this here territory and just mosey northwards. But on top of that, yeah, stuff is flowing in and out of the market. Here we go, the market next door, Zambezi, is a much smaller market, or maybe just not as prosperous. But the merchant that I've got over there is transferring a portion of their goods over to my market instead. So, yeah, what I should be doing is sending my merchants to all the markets that are feeding into my market to just further transfer more trade because I'm getting a percentage of this trade. And the percentage is going to rise as I take more and more territory in the market. So, okay. I think I'm starting to see how this fits together here. Probably anyway, I may be completely wrong, it's hard to say. Like, you know, I'm looking forward to going down into the comments just to see people yelling at me for completely misunderstanding this economy. However, we have certain issues related to, yes, my merchants doing aforementioned thing. One of the territories that he's feeding into our market is the Great Lakes. And apparently, we're not 100% sure, like, where the trade is coming from. We know traders keep arriving, but we've never thought to just sit one of them down and say, hey, could you maybe, like, sketch us a map? Because we're not 100% sure where all this stuff that keeps arriving is actually coming from. Zambezi, meanwhile, right, my merchants are already doing their job over there. And then we have got, hang on, which other markets are we talking about here? So, Gujarat over here, and the Gulf of Aden, though. Why is Ethiopia not trading with us? Guys, we literally share a border! Our merchants can, like, you know, stand there and wave! Seriously, guys, you could just trade with us. We're literally right here. And apparently, our market's actually a pretty good market. Now, looking at all this over here, yeah, next to the markets next door, we're doing way better right now. Which makes sense, because Kilwa was historically a big trading power. So, yes, at this point in history, 1444, Kilwa's already been doing a lot of really good, prosperous trading for centuries. So, yeah, that would explain why this market's actually pretty good. Bigger problem, though, yeah, I can't get my merchants over to the other markets. For the simple reason, right now, they're too far away. Like, way too far away. 500 away. Max range currently 200. So, okay. We need to look for tax, ideas, missions, etc. that might boost a trade range. So yeah, right now we can't even get our merchants over to the markets that are sending goods into our market. Never mind into, yeah, markets further afield that might let us start interacting with India a bit more. So, okay. That one's a bit more of a longer term goal. Got it. It does feel like, yeah, step one, while Cephala's just coming round to our charms, might be expanding northwards. If I just build a trade fleet to protect my trade anyway, that gets me claims on, yeah, these various tiny territories I could eat one by one. Which would, one, give me, yes, a bigger share of the market, and two, would not be too much trouble because, yes, they are mostly the same religion as me, though, speaking of which, hang on. Hang on. Okay, what's going on here? Oh dear! It appears we've got, yeah, some people who are not the same religion as me inside my own empire. So I could send missionaries to go and sort that out, but that is going to cost money, and also it's going to take time, as well as slightly damaging the settlement, because apparently, yes, there's just going to be, like, unrest or something, so development will go down a bit. Oh, though leaving it alone is not an option. That is, yes, hitting local unrest levels, local goods production, tax rate as well. That is harming tax. Right, that needs to be sorted out, though. Who needs to be sorted out, like, first? Honestly, you're both kind of worthless, but you're generating a tiny bit more tax, so, okay, we'll go and sort that out immediately. And there we go, the conversion begins. And right now we've only got one missionary, so right, we've got to let that finish up before we can go deal with the other territory. But okay, let's pay attention to, you know, what the game is desperately flagging in my direction, which is, one, potential unrest. That'll be, yeah, the exact territories we were just talking about, so that's fine, we will sort that out. But apparently the biggest problem in the world right now is, not enough rivals. Like, you know, I'm not taken seriously on the world stage because I'm not growling and shaking my fist at enough people. Okay, now we were saying, Mutapa over here, those guys already do not like me. Oh, and hilariously, they've already declared me a rival. I just didn't notice. So, right, let's just do that in reverse. Right, Mutapa, you can be a rival. Excellent. And also, oh, as a result, okay, it's easier for us to, like, you know, demand stuff from them in future, build spy networks, etc, etc. So, good, that feels like a positive sort of thing. And I've also got more rival slots available too. Now, right now, these chappies up here do view us as a rival. And also, they don't particularly like us, etc, etc, so... You know what? I'm not fussed with you just yet. That's a-okay. We'll leave you alone for the time being. So, okay. I feel like, yeah, the first logical step for us is just moving in and taking Mombasa entirely. Just eat it because, 1, it's a valuable territory. 2, it gives us more access to the market. And 3, it's sitting on, yeah, some fairly valuable ivory. Which I'm also going to be needing to, yes, increase ivory production in the long run, just to further back up the economy. So, yeah, gold and ivory, potentially, we can make a lot of money off of that. So to do that, I need 25 light ships. Now, right now, I've got 17 ships, which is... hang on. 6 ships which are transports, and then 11 ships which are light ships, which are primarily for protecting trade within a trade node. So, right. That's what that does. And the cog is just transport, galley is an actual fighter, and then, yeah, we're into big, heavy ships, though those are expensive, so... And again, these light ships are pretty expensive too. Yeah, I've got 11 right now. They don't cost much in terms of maintenance, but yeah, up front, 20 gold is not nothing. And I need another cooking of 14 of the bastards. Okay, we're gonna need some more money from somewhere, so as a result of that... You can seize land, you say? So okay, at the moment I own 30% of the entire country. The rest is owned by, yeah, various bits and pieces dotted about here. Specifically, okay, the priests, the aristocracy, the merchants, and... right, resident foreigners of various origins. Like, in the ancient world, we'd use the term metic to describe those, but I'm not sure if that could really be applied to this situation. So, okay. These guys own a certain amount of land, and I could just take it away from them. And as a result of that, right, everybody's going to hate me. But that's not really going to do anything, because, yeah, I've got 30% right now, and that would get me up to 35. But until I get up to 50, we don't really get much in the way of benefits. So, okay. Other way round, what if... oh. What if we just sell land that I own to, like, everybody? So, okay. Everybody's gonna like me. I gain a giant pile of money up front. I see no downside to this whatsoever. Aside from the fact the game was just saying, don't go under 30, or that'd be bad, and I'm on 30 right now. Okay, I'm gonna do this anyway. This is probably a terrible... hang on, how bad was that? So, tax down, maximum absolutism down, liberty desire from subjects at plus 25%. How much of my territory did I just sell? Okay, quite a bit, potentially. If I take some of it back immediately, that'll get me back up to 25%. But I'll still have the money. So hang on, I might be onto something here. Because everybody's loyalty is, yeah, these days at 60%, because they are delighted I just held a fire sale for all my land, going from 30 down to 20. But because I went under 25, no, it's under 30 that there are problems. So, right, I was already at the minimum, so taking some land back might not necessarily be that useful. So, I could also summon a diet, which doesn't appear to cost anything, so does anyone want to give me a giant pile of money? Right, so these are, like, you know, proposals for stuff I might want to do. So the priests want me to, yes, convert the place I'm already converting, meaning priests will be cheaper to maintain on an ongoing basis, and on top of that, right, I gain a new potential person I can recruit once we're done. What do the nobles want me to do, by the way? They just want prestige to go up. That's going up very slowly. Let's not worry about that. Now, the merchants would give me a big old pile of money, but only if a base production in Mozambique goes up to 4, which is currently at 2. So I'd need to spend diplomatic power making that happen. Though, honestly, we could do that pretty soon, though then again, I'm not sure why you guys want me to focus here. Mozambique is not looking like, a hugely promising territory right now. I'd much rather focus on, say, Kilwa right here. Like, further back in that, though. Okay, tempting. And yeah, the medics. What do you guys want precisely? So, base manpower. Manpower's fine. We've not, lost anyone to a war yet. We might want that later, so I'll say merchant guilds, yes, because they're offering me money. Like I was just saying, we need money. Okay, if I take a tiny bit of land back, is that going to reduce these penalties? So, okay, just a little bit, and that made no difference. But on the plus side, I've still got the money, so that's good. On top of that, I can give you guys privileges. So, right. What that does is further give away, various things like a land, but, oh, you're literally giving me these, things up here. The monarch powers. Oh, that's really nice, but I do not want to give away that much more land, to be honest, no. Also, it turns out there are a lot of privileges I could give these guys. But yeah, many of them have got downsides as well as positive McGibbles. Okay, let's turn our attention to the merchant guilds, because surely some of these have got to be generating money. Okay, this one seems good. Light ship costs down at 20%. That's the thing I need to buy in large amounts right now. So, okay, you guys can have that as a privilege. Congratulations, though. Right, that just opens up a new privilege slot. So, okay, this is where this game gets complicated, because it's not just pick the one you like the most. There's 10 million things you could do. Oh, and this one seems good. National tax rate up 10%. Brilliant. And then, I have the option to ask for more money from the merchant guilds, but they won't like it. But okay, that seems like a positive thing right there. I'm giving up my absolutism, but I don't really know what that means or why that's bad, so I'm going to work under the assumption this is all a-okay. Meanwhile, the nobles would pay up front if I give them a complete monopoly over gemstones. So, yeah, gems stop generating, income in the conventional way, but these guys are paying me that's basically doubling the amount of money I've got coming in. So, okay, you can have your gemstones. I'm going to regret that. I feel like that's going to backfire in some capacity. And the priest can have development of temples, which just means, yes, as we build temples, local development cost goes down, which sounds good. It doesn't really cost me anything, but you guys love it. So, right, you can have that. Congratulations, everybody, on your new privileges. Oh, and we've got a set of advisors, too. So some of you guys are really expensive, but could generate a lot to my, flipping important mega powers up here. I tell you what, we'll go for a nice cheap one here, though I am willing to, take you on board, because one extra admin point, that's fine. Though no one else is jumping out at me as being particularly exciting, so let's not buy, everybody right now, because, you're good for giving me missionary strength, which we need. Oh, and apparently, I can just, do some national decisions, immediately, because I just meet the criteria, so, okay, it's literally day one, and, I can adopt a new title, which is brilliant. So as a result of that, my prestige is going up. Good, there doesn't seem to be a downside. Also, we can have, yes, my missionaries being more effective. Brilliant. And I could ask for help from the merchants, but that just lowers construction costs mainly. Which is fine, aside from the fact that, yes, right now I basically don't really have, the technology to build basically anything. So let's not worry about that for now. The point is, these light ships now only cost, 16 each. That's good. So, right, select that. And yeah, we can start building these basically anywhere, presumably, that's got a coast. So, that's 8 of those in production, which is going to take a year to do. Slight issue, mind, which is, yes, apparently building all those ships is going to put me way over my naval force limits. Well, don't blame me, gamer. You're the one who gave me the mission to have 25 light ships. I feel like this one's on you. Okay, when they finish being built, we need to keep a really close eye on whether they, like, completely collapse the economy. Or something, though. Speaking of which... Right, fleet maintenance can also be reduced to basically nothing. Good. But I'm going to work under the assumption that these boats are going to be very, very useful going forward, okay? If we want to trade, we need boats to protect our trade, I'm assuming. Speaking of which, you guys who we've already got, just head out and, like, protect trade. So yeah, that adds a trade power to Zanzibar, because now it's not being, like, stolen by pirates or something. Though, yeah, we're not actually gaining more than we're losing in terms of the cost of the fleet, so... I swear this is going to work out in the long run, okay? Once we've stolen Mombasa, it will be worth it, because then we'll be gaining more out of this trade. And with that, it's finally time to start letting time tick along a bit. I'm deeply concerned the economy is just going to immediately explode the moment I let time tick along. So, yes, officially, we're gaining 5.89 a month. The question is this going to be like Stellaris, where it doesn't update until the beginning of next month? Because, I mean, so far, the economy doesn't seem to have collapsed. But I suspect it, yes, a matter of no time whatsoever, once, like, you know, we tick over to the next month and... Okay, it's gone down a bit, but nowhere near as much as I was thinking it was going to. Meanwhile, Melindy wants to be a friend. And I'm gonna be honest, that might be useful. Like, how many troops do you guys have? Just out of interest, like 9,000. Probably about the same as, yeah, Mombasa. So, you know, you guys could just come in and assist with the war. But then again, I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm probably gonna be moving on to you afterwards. So, no, I'm gonna say no. I feel like we could do better with our allies than just you guys. Oh, and speaking of which, oh, Mombasa. I am so sorry. But no, I'm not interested in allying with you. Instead, what we're gonna do is build a ridiculously, stupidly large number of boats to justify attacking you. Also, do not forget, you promised the Merchant Guild you were gonna boost up Mozambique. Which, with the benefit of hindsight, feels like a terrible idea, because yes, basically I've just sold, like, 120 diplomatic power for, like, 30 gold. Which I get in, like, 5 months. Whereas 120 diplomatic power is also the amount I need to, like, save up over the course of many, many years. So, this was not a good decision, but fine. We are where we are, it's all gonna work out. Oh, though speaking of, yeah, spending manpower and whatnot, okay. I could slightly increase the naval force limit this way, just not much. And I can't build anything to, like, help with that because, yes, shipyards are a long way away in terms of technology, so... Okay, we're just going to be over supply cap for a bit. I mean, then again, we could just get up to 25 and then immediately break them down again. No one said they had to be, like, permanent or anything. I think the effect is bigger here at Kilwa because, yeah, Kilwa's, like, a bigger society, so... yeah, you can have that. That also boosts development, which is good in general. So, yeah, focusing on, like, one single megacity, that could be the solution. And yes, at the same time, we're getting on with Operation Conversion. So, right, this is all going to work out fine, though. I think I also saw... hang on. Yes, currently I've got, like, no legal heir, no consort, no anything. So, hang on, I think I saw earlier... here we go, Safala, down the road. Is there any chance you could provide me, like, a wife, consort, something? Because, just in case I die suddenly, it would be nice to have, like, an heir. Which also boosts, yeah, improved relations, legitimacy, everything. So, right, let's get that done. In fact, yeah, we're already straight up to, like, plus 150. So we're most of the way there for annexation already. Oh, better and better. Safala would like to, you know, catch up technologically. And if we say yes, we could just get more money. So, money's good. We need more money. Because, as I say, we're about to go, like, over capacity and everything. So, yes, let's do that. Oh, and that is true. I could have more than one wife. Do I, like, get to see who the potential wife is? Or anything? Or... You know what? I'm going to say yes, just in case ultimately I decide I don't want to murder you guys. No harm in having, you know, extra wives or whatnot, and... Okay, we've got a new Sultana, which is great, but what happened to, like, the existing Sultana? I swear we had one of them already. Oh, hang on. Did we just, like, you know, boot out the previous Sultana? Like... I kind of assumed I was allowed more than one wife, but I think I may have just divorced, like, the first wife by mistake. I mean, if so, Safala doesn't seem to have noticed, but for some reason we've just decided that, yes, like, my second wife is going to be the one who's the official Sultana. Meanwhile, okay, the conversion is not going that smoothly, as it turns out. So, right, the missionaries are not being respectful, and as a result of that, we can either, yes, ignore it, in which case there may be an uprising, or we could send some troops. How many troops? Because we might need troops in a second for, you know, the whole Mombasa thing anyway. Okay, a regiment of 1,000 men, though. Unless I missed something, I think we just didn't, like, pay manpower for those troops. So sure, we're paying their wages, we're not actually, like, you know, having to sacrifice manpower, so... Okay, we just got 1,000 free men out of nowhere. Honestly, under the circumstances, let's just send our entire army over there, then merge them together, because, yes, hopefully, having, like, you know, troops standing nearby might assist with the whole unrest thing. Oh, and you know you're playing a paradox game because, right, all of a sudden, the events are coming in thick and fast, and immediately we need to deal with trade. So foreign merchants are out competing us, flooding the markets with cheap goods, meaning our traders are not doing so hot. They've come to the Sultan to propose a new tariff to foreign goods, which would help protect them from competition from abroad. So, say yes, Merchants Guild would be happy, also gain... Hang on, what even is that? Is that currency up here? We've got a new currency. Here we go, it's over in the trade tab, so, right. This is basically, yes, one of many things that modifies how much money I'm getting out of trade. So, okay, you know what? I do want to support my traders and my local economy. Sure, here you go. And also the Merchants Guild will be happy, which is good, because right now, like, nobody's happy, pretty much. We just need to keep everybody above 30. That way, they don't rise up and kill me. And in a perfect world, yeah, I need to boost the loyalty of everyone else a bit too, so that, yeah, when the cooldown is off a Crown Land, I could take some of it back. And as a result, yeah, we won't have these big penalties to tax rates. I'm also not 100% sure why Safala is just sending its troops up here. Possibly they've realised I'm about to attack Mombasa, and they're like, you know, just moving their troops up in preparation, because I've no idea why. Okay, we've got, we've got what feels to me like an amazing heir to the throne, who's just been a flipping born, because, I mean, 534, when he's literally, you know, just been born, that is embarrassingly better than, like, our current Sultan, who's 23, but apparently is inferior in skill to a literal baby. Oh, and you know what? Just clicking through random names here. I like Sabo. Welcome to the world, Sabo. Honestly, we should probably just, like, you know, toss our current leader away. Like, Sabo's so much better. But okay, here we go. The ships are now arriving en masse, which could be a problem because, yes, that means we're going to be, like, massively over ship capacity. Okay, the economy doesn't appear to have immediately collapsed, so being, like, a tiny bit over capacity does not seem to be a huge problem. Okay, minor mistake that may have been made, which is, I think I've clicked the wrong button and purchased a very large number of galleys. Like, you know, the small warship, not barks, the light ship. Because apparently I've still got 11 light ships, but now I've got 7 galleys. which I don't actually want or need, so... Yeah, that's definitely a galley. Can we cancel that and get the money back? I think we got some of the money back, but, like, not all of the money back, so... That was a lot of money I just spent on ships we don't actually need for, like, anything, so... Okay, if we bring the galleys together that we have trained, what precisely could you guys do? It turns out not much. Like, they could hunt pirates, but there's currently no pirates, so... I think it might actually be better if we just broke those guys down and declared it a tax write-off, which I'm going to assume is completely a thing. I mean, bare minimum, we don't lose the sailors, okay? The sailors go back in the manpower pool, so therefore, that's fine. So, right, we're just going to break apart all of them. Sorry about that, slight miscalculation on my part. Okay, this time, bark, lightship. That's what we want to build. Okay, 100% bark. It says bark right there. I am building the right sort of boat. Okay, but we can make up for some of that lost money by, yeah, getting Mozambique up to level 4. And there we go. So the merchants are thrilled. They give me 30 gold. That is a terrible deal. I've just made a series of awful, awful choices today. Okay, but one thing's going right, which is... yes, we've converted one settlement. Let's just immediately move you over to the next one, too. Beautiful. So yeah, presumably, unrest here should, like, have gone down to basically nothing, right? Okay, it's straight down to, like, 3.6. I swear it was way higher than that a second ago. So, okay, we've done at least one thing right. Meanwhile, here comes, yes, even more boats. But this time, they're the right boats, okay? I promise. See, we've got 17 units of light ship. That's what we were supposed to have. Meaning we still need 8 more. Hang on, 7 more. One of them's not done yet because, yes, production is slower inside these areas that have got a bit of unrest going on. Also, they're getting progressively more expensive as we go more and more over the cap. So, okay, this could potentially be an issue. Not least as we're now out of sailors. I have officially run out of sailors. Okay, begin breaking down the transport ships we already started with, because then we can get the sailors back in the pool. There we go. Off you go into the pool. Because yes, I'm pretty sure we need, like, just one more boat, right? You know what? This fleet is still gonna partly pay for itself. Just add more and more trade power to the local area, okay? These fleets are not entirely a ridiculous, stupid loss. I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember precisely how much value our market had at the start of the game, but it was less than that, okay? These boats are helping, possibly. Also, I think we should just be investing in Kilwa Kisawani. Alright, right in the center of the empire, where the gold mines are, because right now, that's generating, yeah, 3 in terms of its tax take and whatnot. So, if we just put, like, you know, bonus production into that, 3.78. Okay, just invest everything into the center of the empire, okay? Nowhere else gets any love at all. And in just 3 months, we will have successfully created all of the light ships we need. Meaning, okay, Mombasa, my friend. Let's just check here. So what's going on with you precisely? Okay, their military tech is level 3. So, you know, they're not nothing. And currently, at least, we're nowhere near ready to, yeah, boost our military tech level. However, we do have, yes, spare army force limit, even if we're massively over, you know, the naval force McGibble. And basic infantry are nice and cheap. Oh, and here we go. The boat should now be starting to arrive. Beautiful. It's taken us like a year longer than it should have done, but that's fine. So in just a moment, the last boat will be done. Reinforcements are marching north right now to join up with the main army. Speaking of which, main army, my friends, you may have a general. That seems perfectly reasonable. And there she is. Finally, at long, cocking last, we've completed a mission. Which means, 1, the final fleet we created, you, sir, are going to be ordered to, hunt enemy fleets to make sure Mombasa can't do anything silly to me. And as soon as the reinforcements arrive in just a moment, we have now got 11,000 men ready to go at the border of Mombasa. And yes, tragically, my friends down in Safala decided to pull back, but presumably they'll be coming to back us up as time goes by, which is good, because Mombasa has made an alliance with, those dicks up the road who already don't like us. So, okay. Officially, the situation is, they've got more troops, but their troops are going to take longer to arrive. Because those troops are mostly belonging to, these guys up here. Oh, so I tell you what. There's a nation just the far side of you that is, very much happy to join up in an alliance with me. Oh, they will just join. So, right, we should definitely do that. So me and them, we're now in a military alliance. Though gosh darn it, apparently yes, that wouldn't be good enough to persuade them that it's worth, coming to join. Also, I just saw the post-it note, it's fine. Put the army maintenance and fleet maintenance back up to full, though. Okay, that really just broke the economy. I'd forgotten about that whole we weren't paying the army thing. Okay, given I've not got friends coming in, and they really don't cost that much, I'm calling in a mercenary company to assist us. So okay, they're just forming up here, beginning of August, and they should be ready to go, apparently. There we go, though. Okay, right now your morale is, poor, or your organisation is poor or something, so, okay, just give them a moment to get their morale up. But here's the plan. We get in, we defeat Mombasa, and we get out before these guys can even, respond. Because right now, they've only got 6,000 men on the field, which is not that many. They'll need to, train up new troops, let them come together, let the morale recover, etc., etc. We can win this war before they can get properly organised. So, screw it, we're going in. Right, begin invading immediately. Step 1, we need to flipping destroy the Mombasan army. And also it would appear that potentially we've won a victory over a river or something. Oh, that might have been boats. I think our boats just moved in and displaced their boats. Also, I think they're actually coming in to counter-invade. So guys, what's... Okay, I think some of our troops are, committed at this point. So, okay, just everybody start marching forward. I'm going to work under the assumption we're going to win this fight. Right, okay. Like in many Paradox games, we now start rolling dice to each other. And I feel like my dice was a 6. So that's very positive. Their morale is collapsing. Okay. We officially won. Good. Now we just, stay here and just siege down these cities as fast as possible. Ideally, before anyone else shows up. And here we go. I see enemy troops up the road, but they don't appear to be, wanting to move in. Because presumably they're training more troops. So, I think we might be able to, 5%. That's less than I was hoping for, in, many ways, actually. So, then again, actually, how do those guys even, get to us? Presumably, they don't have a way of, marching towards us. So, okay, that could be promising, if maybe they can't even get to us, because they can't pass through these territories. Oh, bigger problems out at sea, by the way, which is... okay, it turns out we may have been slightly, out flipping boated at one point, though we are doing well, with a little bit of skirmishing here and there. I probably shouldn't have broken down those galleys that I had, then just broke down. How's Mombasa doing, by the way? Because we really could do it, just taking that settlement and then maybe trying to find some sort of peace. Wait, hang on, we just went... I think we've gone a tiny bit bankrupt here on account of... This has got a bit wrong. Okay. My manpower's going down. I think because we've got too many troops floating around this one area. So, as a result of that, let's get the free company, like, out of here. Because I think we're over supply limit, and thus, as a result, yes, just dying a lot. Also, there's about to be an uprising back in this settlement. So that's a problem, because we didn't convert them, apparently. Summon a new diet, and ideally one that, like, gives me money and or, like, manpower. Okay, well, the merchant guild wants to give me another merchant, which is cocky useless, because I'm sitting on 2 that can't do anything right now, so we're not in range of anybody. So, right. Manpower. You'll give me manpower in the event that, yes, base manpower in Lindy is 3. Okay, that we can do, I think. Because, yeah, right now it is basically nothing, so, okay. 2 of them, you're welcome, there you flipping go. So, okay, there's a manpower. That'll keep me going for the time being, probably. You're just naffing off, so hopefully we stop, like, you know, dying or whatnot. Okay, I am busy right now. You know what? Just toss everything at Kilwa. Kilwa will keep us going in terms of money. That will stave off a bankruptcy, at least for the time being. And I think our fleets have seen off, yes, the enemy fleet, which is positive. The siege of Mombasa is now over. Good. And yeah, the enemy reinforcements just haven't shown up. And also, royal marriage, you say? Go on then, why not? We'll have, like, you know, even more marriages. You seem like, you know, you're pretty big. Does that mean you'd maybe be willing to, like, I don't know, join the war? If you'd like to join the war as a result of that marriage, that'd be great. Still bloody no. Cooking useless. Okay, so we've now gone to Mombasa under occupation. We control the sea, but yeah, to actually get significantly more war score, we'd have to, like, you know, go and invade these guys. And right now I'm very happy just staying over here and not getting involved with any of that nonsense. They will not accept me taking literally all of Mombasa and basically just, you know, eating them. But okay, now we've taken control of the sea and whatnot. Guys, new mission. Go and blockade the enemy ports, please. I'm curious whether maybe, just maybe, when their ports come under siege, they won't be so happy to continue the war any further. Oh, and here's interesting. I'm not sure how they got up there, but, Safala just appears to have moseyed into this territory and is attacking them. I've just been, like, you know, hanging out back here. I was kind of assuming I, like, couldn't make it over there, but... Okay, apparently borders just aren't really a thing. So, okay, my vassals have decided to, take the initiative and just kick the arse of those guys, and hopefully they'll win before the reinforcements show up, and, okay, 100%, they're just gonna win this war by themselves, so, okay, well done you guys, and by the way, you might not want to, retreat in this direction, because, this happens to be the direction I'm coming in right now, so, oh, guys. Oh, flipping guys. You could try it. Never mind, they're retreating straight through me, as it turns out. It's possible I may have been overthinking this war a bit, given it turns out, yes, I could just sort of walk in and, you know, just beat everyone up and take all their stuff. Right. Now, this time, I think I'll be having the entirety of Mombasa, yes. And there we go. We have officially taken Mombasa. I feel like I may have made that, yes, more difficult than it strictly needed to be. So, okay, get rid of, yes, the mercenaries. We don't need them anymore. And bring my troops home. On a half pay, obviously. We're not made of money. And obviously, this means, yes, all my boats can now be reassigned to trade protection. Meaning, as a result, we now control 38% of this market. And that means, yeah, our trade income has jumped to 2.16. I feel like in many ways, yes, this was not necessarily the most efficient thing we could have done. Still, I'm gonna say, how about we wrap things up here? But yes, this is not the end of EU4. Welcome to our brand new mini-series, and when I say mini, not like 100% sure how many or anything. This is not going to be a full series going on like 20-30 episodes. I don't know precisely how long it's going to be, though. Okay, what I would like to do, bare minimum, is feel like, 1, we're making a giant pile of money, and 2, we do, like, some exciting, sexy, faraway exploring or something, but yes, as I say, I feel like we're just going to dig a little bit deeper into this. Join me on Friday as our adventure continues, and we'll see if maybe, just maybe, I can avoid pressing the wrong button and building entirely the wrong kind of ship again. So, yes indeed, plenty more to come next episode, so hopefully you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Europa Universalis IV. Thank you very much, and goodbye. I shouldn't have become friends with him, now I'm sad he's dead, because that's how friends work. I've just started the sexy schism. He was my brother! What? Why would you do that? You were literally the... Oh, he was the heir to inherit everything. Okay, fair enough, that's a good motive actually, I should have been more suspicious of you.